So 4:3, and I hope Barbara makes it in. We'll go ahead and get started. Allie, you can confirm Candace open meeting that has been met.
Yes.
And we're minus Amanda and Barbara right now. And Jeff here. Jeff Hammond, Barbara Henry. I would like to go to Barbara. So, okay. If everybody's had a chance to look at minutes from October, unless there's any edits, changes that need to be made.
September needs to be moved to be actually, this is the meeting that's in September, so this should actually say whatever the month before September is. It's in my head.
August?
Yeah, thanks.
It took me a second there. Are there any other edits that we need to make to the minutes? And if not, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Okay. Again, this last month I switched around the order, so we're doing old business, kind of cleaning up what we had from the month before, and then moving into the new business towards the end. I was hoping that Douglas would be here today, our liaison, and if he comes in late, maybe we'll do an introduction, but if not, we'll give a proper introduction to Douglas in January. Public art care and maintenance. I don't have a bunch of photos. There's kind of a lot of little stuff. We finally got the 2024 sculpture tour People's Choice installed last Saturday. No, that's not right.
2 weeks ago?
Two
Before
Saturdays
Veterans
ago.
Day.
It was just before Veterans Day. So I think it looks great. I did a little washing of bird waste off the sculpture on Monday, so it was clean and it looked really good. If you guys haven't been by to check it out, please stop by. It was kind of a long process, but that capstone, the black granite that we had ordered, didn't arrive on U.S. soil until like mid to late October, so they turned it around pretty quickly. And just giving a shout out to Memorial Art, they did a really nice job of cleaning up some of the mounting that were a little rusted out, painted them black so they just kind of disappeared against the black granite. So take some time to go over there, check it out. It's nice to have that wrapped up because we all kind of waited for that for quite a while. And I had a member of the community come in this last week, and I thought it was maybe a grievance, but it turned out to be gratitude for that sculpture getting over there, and just curious how things happened, and some appreciation for the work. So again, thank you guys for everything. Hello, sir.
So sorry to be late.
You're all right.
Everything just takes a little longer than you expect.
You were not in that condition last time I saw you.
No.
So sorry.
All good, thank you.
So thank you for your patience and support in that process. We will skip back. We have our newest Arts Commission liaison.
Part of him anyway.
Part of them. At least there's still a foot on there.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
I will, if we can just do a round, maybe do a round of introductions and just share maybe how long you guys have been on the board. Bob, do you want to start?
He already knows me, but Bob Peck, I don't know how long I've been on here. Crystal knows, I don't know. 2 years, I think.
I need a couple of
Something
years.
like that.
That's not even gonna tell me. I don't know. Now you're like pop
It's
quizzing.
two.
I'm getting punished.
Everyone's 2 except for Terry with the slight 2.5,
It's been longer than
slightly
that, yeah.
3,
Yeah.
and then if you're new, obviously 0.
So it's time for me to get off? No.
Keep it 2 rounds.
Yeah, you can be on for 2, well, Terry probably, because you served at Marshall,
Yeah.
would be,
2.5.
yeah. We'll keep you around.
I'm Natalie Brown. I think I've only been on like a little over a year, actually.
Terry Switzer, I think of 3 years, something like that.
You've been here about as long as I think I.
Yeah, you were just starting when I started, so yeah.
My name is Jeff Hammond. I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation. I'm a guest of this board, and Crystal and I work together, or Arts and Humanities and I work together for many of the care and maintenance related items in city areas, including parks, medians, islands, so which are, a lot of those are in those areas, so we work together, so I'm a frequent attender of this board.
Okay, and I'm Andrea Dietrich, and I just started on the board in September.
And Douglas is here. We gave him all the homework because he missed that first meeting.
That's right.
Yeah, so we'll welcome.
Traveling Europe.
Yeah, that, I guess that's excusable. So, thank you for being here. So we'll move back to our public art care and maintenance updates. Like I said, we've got the People's Choice in. I just met over at Lakewood for the Kansas Promise, the donation from Governor Bill Graves and Linda Graves. That has been in for a while. The parks will be installing the signs. I just met this morning and we kind of laid those out. So signage should be completed, and we'll take some photos and send a thank you. We want to give a nice recognition to the Graves for their donation to the collection. If any of you would like to write a note to include in that letter, I think Brad and I will probably, once the signage is in and we can take some photos, if you want to write something down, we don't have a card, but we would probably just transcribe all of that stuff. If you want to talk about your role as Kat, it's not something I'm forcing anybody, but since this is our last meeting for the year, and we'll probably work on that thank you here in the next couple of weeks. So if you'd like to share a comment or anything like that, we can include that in a letter to the Graves as we send that out. So, and if you haven't seen that, please go over to Lakewood, and it is a beautiful time of year, so go check that out. I did a drive past Tony's Event Center the other night. I often drive by and glance, but I went and took a look. I'm not going to remember the name of the piece that is on the north side. The lights are out on that piece, so that's something I want to touch base. And I don't know who at TPEC would be in charge of that. I don't know if it's electrical, I'm guessing it's just bulbs. So trying to pay attention to some of those things. I know last year we did our care and maintenance. Everybody went out and looked at things. So we're still trying to get through some of that feedback. Again, the watchdog in Oakdale Park, it's still there. We haven't removed it. I'm not sure if it's in the budget, so I'm hesitant to remove that since we've already removed Poco a Poco from Jerry Ivy, and it needs some care and maintenance. So I want to be mindful. I don't want to be removing all of our sculptures without the budget or the plan to take care of those things. I think signage is all like really getting in place. I don't think we have any major restorations or care other than some of these sculptures that have just been on the list for a while. But if you guys have any questions about those, please ask. And also, again, if you're out and about and you see something, if signage is, some of the signs, the mounting, I think the bolts are getting rusty, and I'm gonna look at trying to get some of those cleaned up or replaced, maybe with some stainless steel. So as advocates for our community art collections, if you're out there, I'm not gonna ask for a formal report like we did, because we are moving into the public art archive as our collection sort of resource. But if you're seeing something, snap a couple photos. If you want to take a video and send that directly to me so I can get it on the list and make sure we're getting things cleaned up. I still haven't had time to really investigate the cleanup of the farmer over at the senior center, but again, I think that one might take a little elbow grease, so just kind of slowly plugging away on those things. So thanks again for everything you guys are kind of watching out for on that. We'll do a quick review. We went through the annual report draft last month. And Jeff, this might be an area where some of the things that maybe are coming up, we can, you know, identify the things we want to work on together or think about. I didn't print these off, and I don't really want to read through all of these in great detail because we went through it last month. And I'm just in the process of moving our accomplishments, those things that were goals from last year, moving that into the accomplishments list. But thinking about the goals, I would still say one of our goals for 2026 is to continue to support any recommendations for public art integration at Fire Station number 4. That has been on hold for a little while. I was able to stop by the site today and just check in on some of the details about electrical access. As we've talked about, those two projects would have really needed support of lighting, whether it was backlighting or ground lighting. So we were able to check in and make sure that those things are kind of, they're moving. We're not having to do any major change orders. So we're looking good there, but we still don't have any, we don't have a green light to move forward with Artist at this point in time. So that's something, if you haven't driven by, it's kind of a cool build over there. They're really moving along. It sounds like they're close to finishing wrapping the building and all the masonry, and we'll start moving towards that parking lot wall divider pretty soon. So it's kind of cool to see those projects, but I'm hoping we're gonna get some direction by the first of the year. And again, this committee will make recommendations to the Arts Commission before it would go to City Commission for final approval if we get to continue that project. So maybe we want to get a little feedback, as we are going to be integrating the Public Art Archive as a hub for finding artwork. And we'll probably continue to talk about this more next year. How do we do that? How do we advocate and share that stuff? That will definitely be, you know, marketing coming from us at Arts and Humanities. But again, that Public Art Archive acts as sort of an administrative tool for us internally for care and maintenance, but also it's been the thing that, you know, we've talked about in this group and the Arts Commission has talked about, and so many of us on staff hear a lot out in the general public, where's that one place to go to find it all? So Allie's been working to collect images from Boom, we've got Sculpture Tour, and art collections, and we're really kind of focusing on the last 3 years. So we've got a meeting coming up, I think, early December, and really getting things organized. So I don't know what that looks like right now. We jumped in, we've invested, we're trying to answer that need, but it's gonna take some advocacy from this group, and might, I think, be a part of our cultural plan, which I talked a little bit about last month. I don't know that we have any applications from companies who are interested in doing that cultural plan, but I'll be including that in part of our goals for 2026 is to engage those conversations. So I know I asked if there were any recommendations through this year where we did our public art research and presentations. Maybe the activity, sort of the homework piece that we're doing next year is people being able to attend a community engaged conversation to support that cultural plan. So I'm hesitant to say, let's take on another homework assignment on top of that before we are in 2026 and know what those expectations are. And again, we're moving into a big celebratory year for festival as our 50th. And also we're going to continue to celebrate 60 years of Arts and Humanities. So I would really like to see you guys taking advantage of those activities and participating as opposed to maybe giving another homework assignment. I think we're gonna have a lot of things to engage here in 2026. I always keep on the goals as sort of the things that always come around. We will early in the year have acceptance of a People's Choice. And as I say that, I want to remind everybody, I don't have one in front of me, but I made sure to leave ballots for you if you have not voted for your People's Choice, and everybody watching this meeting. You have until December 31st to get out there and vote. We have quite a few really cool sculptures this year. So check it out. The weather's been really nice, so as the holidays rolling around, get your family out there and cast those ballots. You can drop them off at the ballot boxes and different merchants along. The chamber will take them, Salina downtown, so there's a lot of drop-off places. You can drop them off here if you want to do that too. So get out there, get your vote out, and I don't know, enjoy the downtown and the public art. So are there any projects, Jeff, that we kind of maybe coming up that if we want to consider engaging as potential 26?
Yeah, I think we talked about briefly about the south end of Jerry Ivy Park, where there's a garden there, but we are in this winter going to be cleaning up that old riverbed that used to function as a recirculating stream for the former pond that was there, and we're going to be removing that stream bed, clearing out several many old and mature shrubs, evergreens, kind of cleaning up the sight lines on the south end of Jerry Ivy Park. And then next year we have a bathroom remodel plan for that area as well. And I think that's an opportunity to do something. So the first step is that demo of the old landscaping and the old stream bed, and then phase 2 would be next year, where we kind of start incorporating a new landscaping plan to kind of add to the existing garden that's there. We need to be a little sensitive about the Compassionate Friends garden, because it's a garden that was donated by parents who had lost children, and so they contributed money to a remembrance garden for those children that they lost. But we need to be mindful of that. So could be an opportunity there to engage with that group. I don't know if Cocoa is the right sculpture for that area,
Yeah.
but there could be something appropriate that would complement that solemn type area.
Okay.
Another one.
We've been talking about community conversations about Sunset.
Sunset,
So-
I saw your list. For the community conversation right now, Sunset is relating to a request by a group for Boys and Girls Club, which could have future impacts to that south end of Sunset Park, where that former tennis court and former horseshoe area is at. And that's still on the table as a potential for improvements, so additional basketball court or some other type of court surface possibly. But it's kind of now tied into that potential of that Boys and Girls Club building that would go in that south end of Sunset or in the area of Bottom Field. So that's kind of a community conversation going on. So I haven't had the opportunity to have a community conversation about those improvements that would be park related. They've kind of taken a backseat to the Boys and Girls Club conversation.
No, that's understandable. So, and I think that was something that we've just talked about when there's an opportunity, if we can participate. I think having that public art conversation as we're moving into anything to see what the potential is, and really gauge the interest from those communities that are using those spaces. So, okay.
Is there there is a possibility, just because it just came to mind, is that if there was a building somewhere on that public land, parkland, there could be an incorporation of some type of sculpture in the Boys and Girls Club.
Okay.
I don't know that that's a possibility, but it's just something to put in the back of our minds at this point that could be a possibility.
Okay. Well, I think with the goals, you know, there's stuff that we put on there we don't quite get to for one reason or another, but keeping it on there, and sometimes if it feels like it's way back burner, but we don't want to forget, we just kind of keep it the other items of interest.
On that third one, we are in development now for the northwest corner of Indian Rock Park to do a inclusive playground space. And what I mean by inclusive playground space is being accessible for all different types of abilities, whether there's an emotional, physical, or a sensory type disability. We don't have a dedicated playground for the city of Salina that would meet those expectations, or we would classify as an inclusive playground. The closest one in town is Olivia's Playground, which is not city-owned, it's hospital-owned. So we want to do something similar on the east side of town at Indian Rock Park. And that's going to be starting to phase approach next year. And with that playground, we're going to need accessible pathways, parking, possibly a bathroom, shelter house. So it's an undeveloped corner, kind of where USD 305 Administrative Building's at on Gypsum Avenue, and the corner of Indiana Avenue, where we are. That's our next big playground project. We have 2 playgrounds going in right now, but they're replacement playgrounds. This will be a new space for a new playground and a new concept. So I think there's a future opportunity to have some conversations, which I think would be really great to have something in that area.
Yeah, I think that area, I mean, we got the sculpture at Lakewood and kind of thinking about that part of the city. It's got some potential for sure. So, we went through all of this stuff last month. I feel like a lot of this is like, we're gonna have those repeats of things that we're doing every year. And we don't have to vote on this, so in January, we'll look at the final draft, and that'll go out with your minutes. So I'm gonna really encourage you guys to take a good look at it as it comes out with the agenda in January. If we do need to make any final edits, I can do it at that point, and then we'll get it submitted to be our final report for 2025. And again, if there's anything that kind of comes to the surface in between now and then, let me know. It's mostly, I think, at an editing point right now. So thank you. Okay, on to our new business. We're gonna have Barbara and Natalie, but Natalie is the only one here, so we're gonna let her do, I don't have let's see, this will be the point where I take forever to get the TV hooked up. Take your time.
I'm gonna rush her.
You don't have to set up the front if you want. I mean, do what you feel is
I'm gonna go to the furthest corner away from everyone. I only made a slideshow so you guys wouldn't look at me.
That's not gonna work.
If I can get the
So
TV
long.
active. This is terribly embarrassing. What?
Accessibility shortcuts. JC.
Just start over.
I see how this works.
I'm only at capacity to do
I
some
know,
things.
that one has always been a bear.
It's like I need a tiny little note card that every time. Yeah.
Need like a 5-year-old.
one of your slides was familiar because I have been there before.
Really? I have not. I just
Okay.
heard about it.
All right, well, we'll turn it over to Natalie. She doesn't have to move out of her chair. We've got the slides up there, so just tell me when to move forward.
Okay. Now, I don't know if I did this right. I got very overwhelmed and I just picked something that sounded good. So I did mine on Santa Fe, New Mexico, which I've gained a recent obsession with. We can go to the next slide. I think what really stuck out to me was the historical and cultural importance of Santa Fe. It's the oldest capital city of the U.S. and it was established in 1607. That is actually a picture of the oldest church named San Miguel Chapel that still has services to this day. And it's very cool to me how a lot of the architecture there is still I practiced, I swear. The adobe structures. Yeah. We can go to the next slide.
Yeah, that was, I went in that. I feel like my friends were like off doing something else, but it was really beautiful there.
Yeah. Another thing that stuck out to me was that it's connected to New Mexico's 23 Native American tribes, consisting of natives and pueblos, who all, interesting enough to me, are all their own sovereign nation, their own rules, languages, and stuff. So if you want to go see them, you have to ask for permission, kind of. Just them, not the city. So every year they host the Santa Fe Indian Market, and they've done that since 1922, and it's the largest and most prestigious intertribal juried art market in the world. And I really appreciate how they spend an entire weekend celebrating Indigenous Peoples Day. And you can even, just north of there, you can visit the 8 northern pueblos, and they have history dating back to 1,000 years, which I think is really important because a lot of their history was erased. We can go to the next slide. What I thought was very cool was that Santa Fe was the first UNESCO creative city in the U.S., selected by the United Nations, and it's part of the Creative Cities Network that was founded in 2004, and it was accepted into the UNESCO for their folk art and crafts.
I had not heard of Creative Cities Network.
I haven't either. So
UNESCO, yeah.
It's what?
UNESCO. Might have heard of it as well,
but
yeah.
like,
It's, yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I never know what UNESCO actually stood for, so that's.
Yeah, that would be my
I
top.
didn't either. I had to look it up. I was like, okay. What I think is really cool is Santa Fe's nickname, the City Different, which is a rebellious response adopted in the early 1900s in response to the City Beautiful movement that was sweeping across the country that kind of was making all the cities and towns rising looking the same. And what's really cool is that it has one of the largest art markets in the U.S., and in the picture is the immersive Meow Wolf exhibit, which I'm also kind of obsessed with.
Have you been to any of them?
Mm-mm.
What was it? I don't remember this specifically. I did go there. It, I think, was towards the end of 2020. So I think we were lucky that we got to go. I went with some students. I don't remember this piece, but those, you're so overwhelmed at the end. Like, I've gone with friends and you all exit and you're like, this was my favorite. And everybody goes, I don't remember that. And everybody's got something different. So I know there's the Santa Fe, there's Las Vegas. I think there's 2 other Meow Wolf, I would highly recommend to anybody, if you are in any of the cities, there's such a fantastic, bizarre storytelling sort of immersive experience that is, I mean, there's things happening like that, but I haven't experienced something like the Meow Wolf immersive museums, and you can really get lost for quite a while. Plus, they're kind of like a playground with slides and magic doors and all that stuff. So do you have a vacation planned?
I'm working on it. Yeah, this is kind of like an itinerary for me. Okay, we'll just go with that.
Yeah.
And then I just have some fun facts that stood out to me. Santa Fe was named the world's best city for galleries and museums by an independent study in 2021, which kind of makes sense because it seems like everywhere you go there's just art, from what I was researching. And they host pretty much continuous art markets and festivals during the warm months, including the Santa Fe Art Week in July, where there's over 100 events taking place in just a week across the city's museums, attractions, and galleries. And what I thought was interesting, that they, like Salina, have a Friday dedicated to Art Walk, but it's the last Friday of the month instead of the first Friday. And then they have a rail yards art district that during the warmer months will give you a free ride throughout the art district. So,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
and they also have a public arts portfolio. It's linked in there if anyone wanted to look at it.
We can send that. We can send that out on email if anybody wants to explore that. So,
Yeah, Santa Fe.
yeah, I would say Santa Fe is definitely just that community is immersive and saturated with creativity and public art. So, contemporary, historical. So, I'd go back. If you want to go back, we can go. Let's put it on the books. So, all right. Well, thank you. Yeah, that was great. I really appreciate everybody doing their presentations. This was just a nice I hope it was easy enough to like find something that was interesting, and I appreciate everybody sharing because I think it opens up our minds as our collections grow and our opportunities grow within the community to engage public art in different ways, and encourage travel if you have the opportunity. So, Douglas, did you see any art that you need to share with us?
No, I saw a lot of art. And we brought some of it back home with us. We actually had some paperwork in our suitcase from different galleries saying what is in here is not culturally significant, so you can take it out of the country. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Where else
We
did
were-
you go?
We were in Ireland, Northern Ireland, Romania, and England.
Which country did you
Those
break
are
your
not
foot
close
in?
to each other.
It takes kind of a little bit of a plane hop.
Yeah.
Yes, that is true. That was scheduled for the week after we got back.
Oh, well, nice.
So,
At least it wasn't during.
yeah, no, it was a planned surgery, so I just dealt with this sort of foot walking all over Europe, which was.
Yeah.
I wasn't here to sign up for a thing, but if you're still interested, I could put something together, probably on Bucharest, Romania would be the most interesting thing I could put together.
I wouldn't, I'm not gonna say no to that. So if you would like
Let
to
me
give
know
us
when you want to work it in.
we could put it on for January. I think we'll.
Sure.
Yeah. I would love to see some of the things from your travels. And again, if you guys ever travel and you just want to share, like you see some cool stuff, this is a great group to share and kind of inspire and get us thinking, I think, staff of what's next, and help us recognize some opportunity. So thank you again, and we'll look forward to your January presentation.
Sure.
So, awesome. Upcoming fall events and deadlines. Quick reminder, we do not have a meeting in December. I know you all would probably show up here eager for a meeting. Just kidding. So we won't meet again until January. But if there's any events, I did share Sculpture tour, we've still got until the end of the year to cast your vote. I shared with you guys at Art Market. I'll be participating in Lindsborg on the 6th of December. There's a lot of artist open studios there. I know there's plenty of stuff happening in and around Salina. So if there's anything exciting happening, we won't see each other here for a couple months. If there's an event that's kind of top of mind that you'd like to share, community engaged stuff, I think we'll have another final Friday. Looks like we're in November, December, so it would be that 5th. I know things kind of slow down a little bit, but I know there's places, Peaceful Body, they continue to do their final Friday events, even when maybe things get a little bit colder. First Friday, thank you. Actually, that's where I will be doing an exhibition. It won't actually be the first Friday of January, and it'll be the second Friday. That will be an exhibition of the print exchanges that I've accumulated from my print conferences and the trip I went on in April to Puerto Rico, which was supported by Horizons grant funding. So I'll get to share a lot of those things, really promoting print media, different styles of printmaking. There might be a mezzo tent in there, so I'm not trying to strike fear into you, Terry. But it'll be a really beautiful look at printmakers from all over, because these exchanges weren't just Kansas-based. So there's people that I have artwork I've been able to collect through these activities and have never met them before. And it's fun to get them out. So I look forward to sharing that and doing an artist talk in January, and I'll still be there in February, so I'll probably do a couple of versions of that and share all that work with you. So, yeah. Is there anything else anybody wants to share, since we won't see each other for a little bit? Oh, there is a call for art for the Land Institute. The Prairie Festival is coming back. It's not been happening, I think, for the last few years. The call is probably on their website. We have sent it out through Creative Connections. I would say it's a larger scale art installation, outdoor, and if I've never been to the Prairie Festival, if you've been to the Land Institute, I would say this artwork is really thinking about nature and how we engage with the space. But if you have any questions about that, we can send that to you and make sure you've got access to that. It's, thinking about Meow Wolf immersive experiences, that could be something that's happening. But the activities happen outside. It's a week-long festival, so really encouraging artists to think about work that provides gathering space, so it can be immersive. I don't want to direct the idea or the concept of what artist proposals need to be, but that's out there. It's due December 5th. And it can be a potential residency, artists building on site over time, or building in their studio and then taking it for the installation of that Prairie Festival. I believe it's in October.
September 20.
I'm glad you're here.
5th through the 27th.
I really appreciate you. So we can share that, and if you have anybody that you think might be interested in that, since the Prairie Festival's not happened for a while, and I think this is sort of a new concept, and it'd be good to see some really cool proposals. I don't know how many that will be accepted, but it'd be a pretty quick turnaround on that one. So, yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I have any other things. I'm just gonna say get out and vote. I'm guilty, I haven't cast my ballot yet. I know which one I want to vote for, and I've known for, I think, since May 5th. So take a chance, get out there, enjoy the work. So next meeting, January 20th, here at 4:30. Enjoy the holiday season. Please travel safely. Thank you for your service on this committee throughout the year. I'm sure I'll see you guys around. Otherwise, we have a motion to adjourn. Do you have a second?
Second.
All right, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.